So today we're checking out the Morimoto XB LED headlights with the amber DRL, the black housing, and the clear lens, fitting all 2018 to 2020 F-150s, excluding the Raptor models. Now this set here will be a great addition to your build if you're looking for a premium headlight to elevate the look and functionality of the front end of your truck. Now these headlights will also be a great pick if you're currently struggling with visibility out of the front end and need a headlight that will increase your truck's front end lighting performance. These will feature a stealthy appearance with the quad LED projector setup and the black housing. Now the projector lenses will assist in the LEDs, creating a concentrated and very bright beam pattern compared to the factory lighting. Now bordering the headlight, you'll also see a bright amber DRL with the turn signal functions to make you more noticeable when driving around on the street. Now you'll also get an LED amber reflector on the inner portion of the light to assist the DRL. These will have a durable ABS plastic housing and a clear polycarbonate lens to be able to take whatever's thrown at it while optimizing the light output. Now the lens will also have an anti-UV UVHC 3000 coating to hold up to the elements. Now the headlight will also be completely plug and play with a multi-pin Ford OEM harness, which will eliminate any additional wiring. Not to mention, they will meet all DOT and SAE standards. Pricing for these will come in at roughly $1,900, putting these at a premium price point. Now what I will say is that with these, you are getting outstanding lighting performance and an upscale look compared to some more simplistic choices. Now other options on the page will usually be set up a bit different with a white DRL, a dual projector, or even a chrome housing instead of this stealthy black here. Now I think if you have the extra cash to spend on a premium option to give the front end of your F-150 a facelift, then this is a great pick. Being plug and play, these will be super straightforward out of 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, taking you about an hour to get the job done with some basic hand tools. Now at this point, we can head over to the shop and check out a detailed breakdown of the install and what that looks like. So that's going to wrap it up for me. Let's go ahead and jump into it.
The tools you'll need for this project is a ratchet, a 13mm socket, a 10mm socket, an 8mm socket, a 7mm socket, a T25 Torx bit, a pair of needle nose pliers, and a trim removal tool. Hi everyone, today we're installing a set of headlights on our 2018 F-150, but before we can do that, we've got to get the stock lights uninstalled. So let's get busy. Okay, our first step is going to be removing this lower grille panel by removing the 2 7mm screws just inside the fender lip. We're going to use our 7mm socket to do that. And repeat that process for the other side. Now we can go ahead and pull this filler panel out and away from the body, and that'll get it uninstalled. Now we can remove our push pins that hold our radiator cover in place using our trim removal tool. Now we can go ahead and disconnect the connectors for our active grill simply by pushing in the tab and lifting them up. Now we can remove the 4 bolts at the top of the grill using our 10mm socket. Now we can remove the 2 lower bolts for the grill using our 13mm socket. There's 1 on each side. And repeat that for the other side. Now we can remove our grill by lifting up and pulling out. Now we can remove the two top bolts for our headlight using our 10mm socket. So there are 3 bolts at the bottom of our headlight. We have an 8mm here, a 10mm here, and another 10mm over here. Now we can go ahead and remove our headlight by pushing down on this plastic holder at the bottom and pulling out slightly so that we can disconnect the connectors on the bulbs in the back. And you see we have 3 connectors back here. Just push in on the locking tab and pull them out. Now that we've got the driver's side uninstalled, you can just repeat that process for the other side. Now we can go ahead and start the install of our new headlights. Before we do that though, we need to transfer the bracket at the bottom of the stock light to the new light. To do that, we're going to need a ratchet and a T25 Torx bit. Now you just need to make sure that you transfer it to the right light because it will only fit one way. Now we can attach our bracket to our new light, making sure that the 2 slots here line up with the 2 tabs here, and the screw holes line up on the new light. And making sure that this harness that's hanging here is not pinched inside. Now keep in mind that these holes on the new light are untapped yet, so it will be a little tight to put them in, so I recommend starting the screw by hand first, and then you can use your ratchet to install them. And repeat that process for the other light. Now we're ready to install our DRL Y harness. You'll see we have 3 connectors here. 2 for the DRL, 1 for the fuse box. Just make sure that the fuse box side is on the same side as your fuse panel, and we can go ahead and run that in front of the radiator. So we're going to run it through this hole in the core support and this side where the other harness goes through, and then we'll run the fuse tap up above the windshield washer tank. Now the lights do come with a couple of zip ties for you to secure the wire harness. You can put them wherever you want, and if you need any extras, of course you'll have to supply those yourself. Okay, now we're ready to install the light and hook up all of our connections. But before we do that, there's one connector on the light that has a purple wire and a green wire. This is for the turn signals, and if you leave it connected as is, you'll have regular turn signals like you have on your stock vehicle. If you disconnect the connectors and just leave them unconnected, that will give you the sequential turn signals. So for our purposes today, we're going to go ahead and leave it unconnected so you can see the sequential lights. All right, so our first step is going to be to hook up our Y harness to the single blue wire connector on the headlight. Now we go ahead and slide our light in, making sure that all of our wires are tucked in securely so that none of them are crimped. Now at this point, I recommend loosely installing one of the bolts on the top of the light so that you can go ahead and connect the other light and make sure, test all the functions and make sure everything is working as they should. Now that we've made sure that our connections are good and both lights work on each side, we can go ahead and reinstall our mounting bolts, starting with our 10 millimeter and our 8 millimeter. Now we can install the 3 bolts on the bottom. And repeat that for the other side. Now we're going to remove the cover on our fuse box. And we're going to tap into fuse number 36. It's a 10 amp fuse, and we're going to be able to plug our fuse tap into that, making sure that we have 2 10 amp fuses in each slot. And that should complete our installation. Now we can go ahead and reinstall our grill, reversing the procedure that we used to uninstall it. Now we can go ahead and install our bolts and tighten them down with our 10 millimeter socket. reinstall our bottom bolt. And tighten it down with our 13mm socket. And repeat for the other side. Now we'll go ahead and reinstall our filler panel. Now we can install our two 7mm bolts on the driver's side. And tighten them down with our 7mm socket. And repeat for the other side. Now we can reconnect our grill activators. Now we can go ahead and reinstall our radiator cover using our stock push pins. That wraps up our review and install of the Morimoto XP LED headlights with the amber DRLs in the black housing and clear lens for the 18 to 20 F-150, excluding the Raptor. Thanks for watching, and remember, for all things F-150, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.